All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It is Tuesday, Tasty Tunage Tuesday. Get some more coffee. All right, so what are we talking about today? Big day in history here. It is Breakfast Club Day. February 15th, 1985, that epic movie drops. What a movie this is to our generation and beyond. So good. Still quoting that movie. Still am. You guys all know this story, but let's talk about it for a bit. John Hughes film, of course. A masterpiece. Coming off of 16 Candles. He gets Anthony Michael Hall cast first as one of the characters, and then Molly Ringwald. Of course, you got Judd Nelson, Ali Sheedy, Emilio Estevez, but we'll get to all that. Anthony Michael Hall, that's his real mother and his real sister that drop him off in the movie. I've got all kinds of fun facts for you today, just so you know. This all takes place one day in one room, essentially. Imagine pitching a movie that takes place just in one room, all in one day. That would have been a tough sell, but only $1 million budget, and it made $51 million, so pretty good return on that. Of course, this was the beginning of the term the Brat Pack. Who tried out for what? Anthony Michael Hall, like I said, real mom and sister. Molly Ringwald was considered for Ali Sheedy's role, Allison, first, and she really wanted to play Claire, so she had to lobby for that. Who auditioned for the role of Claire? Robin Wright, Jodie Foster, and Laura Dern. How about that? Emilio Estevez first read for the role of Bender, and Nicolas Cage was considered for Bender, but eventually was narrowed down to John Cusack and Judd Nelson. How about that? John Cusack was considered, but they didn't find him to be menacing enough. Rick Moranis was cast as Carl the janitor. Can you picture that? That was tough. The quote I read was he left for creative differences. I can't even imagine what creative differences you had about playing Carl the janitor in the Breakfast Club, but that's quite interesting if you ask me. Who were the characters? Of course, it was, what were their names? It was Claire, Andrew, John, Brian, and Allison, right? They all did something wrong and ended up in detention. Do you guys remember what they all did? Wait for a second. What did they all do? Brian had a suicide attempt after feeling like no one was paying attention to him, and he failed at making that lamp, that elephant lamp with the trunk that you pull the trunk and the light would not go on. Brought a gun to school, but it wasn't just a regular gun, it was a flare gun. Someone found it because it went off and broke said lamp. Allison was just bored, didn't have anything else to do, so she just showed up for the day. Bender pulled a fire alarm. What else? Andy taped someone's butt cheeks together with masking tape, and Claire skipped school to go shopping. Something that each and one of us could relate to in there, I'm sure. And someone did something you could relate to, right? There's like no characters in this movie either. It's just them and then the principal and the janitor are the main characters. How about that? That's pretty amazing considering all of that. Paul Gleason, of course, the famous principal moment. Mess with the bull, you get the horns. Debuted at number 3 behind Beverly Hills Cop and the movie Witness. Was that a Harrison Ford movie? I can't remember. But this was just, it just defined childhood. I remember seeing it in the movie theater, and it was just so good, and that ending just so amazing. They just used that quote from David Bowie. You got the letter, Dear Mr. Vernon. I could recite that right now, but I won't put you through all that. But and of course the iconic trench coat. It made me want to have a trench coat. Bender really wanted me to have a trench coat, I think. I really wanted one of those. Let's talk about the soundtrack. That's why we're here. It is Song of the Day in the Rock Cave. The soundtrack, I bought the soundtrack. I mean, obviously, we can talk about Don't You Forget About Me. I've done an episode on that. And the Simple Minds, they struggled with this. They were asked to do it. They preferred to do their own songs. It like they added it to an album later because they didn't care for it. It ended up being this huge hit. It's pretty crazy. But you got two other songs on there that I bought the soundtrack for. You got Fire in the Twilight by Wang Chung. That's a song you don't hear very often, but it's such a good one. I think that's the one where they're running through the halls. Is that right? Anyway, that's awesome. We'll post that link below. And then the other one, We Are Not Alone by Carla DeVito. The amazing scene in the library where they're doing their dance. What a great song this is. Awesome song. He's in the booth with the headphones on. He puts it on. They all do their dance scene. That's an epic scene. We'll post that below as well. So good, right? And then, of course, Don't You Forget About Me went to number 17. So that's your huge hit off of the record. Some great songs there, right? And of course, your song of the day has to be Don't You Forget About Me. It's so iconic. You hear that and you just think of the movie. And of course, that's the ending. But you got to make sure you check out those other two songs off the soundtrack. And that's what we got about the Breakfast Club. So good. Holds up. Played it for my daughters. Watched it. It's, generation after generation should see the Breakfast Club. So revisit that with me today. Post your memories below. Did I leave anything out? What else you got to say about the Breakfast Club? Enjoy your day, whatever you're doing. I hope it involves music. And as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.
Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club.